And it's starting. So I'm live here with Healing the Heart, and I have my guest, Lonnie, here, who is helping this planet to increase the vibrational levels, because she chose today to let go of a huge grievance that she has. And obviously, I can't do all of the work. Lonnie is the one who's doing the work, but I'm hoping and I pray that we will manage to get all of the energy back into flow. I facilitate this kind of process since it was created. I created it based on my training and background in energy psychology, and with the intent of zooming into this real, let's say, connecting to our universal force. That means the healing the heart. The heart is really where we connect to our earth and to basically our global consciousness. And we want to just invite everybody to watch and to support us and be there with questions if there are any, but we will be only getting to them at the end of this session. So those who know me will know that I'm also trained in NLP and matrix reimprinting. And so some of the elements that come through this process of healing will be familiar to those from this community. And I want to invite everybody who has dealt with loss in this kind of caliber, which is like the most intense that anyone could imagine. And I always say no parent should have to outlive their child. But this is let's say a moment where we say, okay, but that's just what it is. So I'm going to ask you, Lonnie, if you are ready to get started.
Yes.
Okay. Would you like to share anything about you and about your story?
I'd be happy to. And first of all, I'm honored and grateful to be here with you and to have this opportunity to heal at a deeper level. My grievance itself would be conventional medicine and how they handled the heart and health of my daughter. And she was truly an angel, an earth angel. And she loved everyone and did the best she could for everyone. And I understand she had to go. I understand she could not stay any longer. It's just, I don't want to see other parents have to watch their child fade away like I had to watch mine fade away. And she trusted me. And in some respects, I hope and pray I didn't betray that trust in helping her and the guidance I provided. And so that's my prayer. And as a result of her going, then some other things took place that were outrageous. And I'm just wanting to let go and just say, God's plan, please be clear in my heart and mind. And I'm in the Heartland. That's where I live. And right now I'm at Heartland Realty, and they've honored me by letting me use their space so we could do this together.
Thank you so much. Wonderful. I believe that we have, let's say, the agreement that we are coming into this experience from a different place. How do you see the life before life?
How I see the life before life is we sit down at a table together and we discuss what it is that we want to learn in this adventure. Different people play different roles in our lives, and there's just an agreement ahead of time before we come here. And I call it Adventureland Earth. So.
Okay, well, we jump into this experience without a parachute, but we do have we do have a constant connection, unless we choose to sever that connection. And the heart is where that connection is severed. Because if we do not have an openness in our heart, it will sever us from that intuition, that teaching that comes from our universal soul, from our universal guidance. And I believe that when you have such experiences, and when you have these, let's say, agreements, and I also believe the same, that we do kind of script write our experience here. There is part in you that accepts it and part in you that doesn't accept it as a human. As a soul, you understand and accept, and you know that the motivation comes from a place of love. But as a human, you expect loss, and you kind of, when you think about it before it happens, it just is like you accept it as part of the existence, as part of our cycle of life. But when you have to experience it and be in it and go through it, there's part in you that cannot accept that. So in these difficult moments of time, that part that doesn't accept it goes into a rebellion and says, I can't go through this. I don't want to. And I feel like I just, there's so many things that you could be thinking. I don't want to think for you. So I want to express you, in a proxy manner, because obviously we come to how you feel in a moment. Okay. So, but I'm going to paraphrase. What we're going to do is basically we go through the 4 heart chambers. We go first through the L of the letter love, which is the letting go. Then we go into the next chamber. The next chamber is the O. The O is basically the divine potential for everything, to which we need to be open in order to receive it, because it's 1 and 0 in our universe. So if we have a 0 in one place, we need to replace it with 1 if we want to be open to that. Okay, so that there is a flow back into us from that universal source, life, and that which actually gives us the healing, that which reinstalls the good programs in us. Okay. And so the V is the victory over what kind of situation this is. This is injustice to a maximum. This is a impossible, let's say, emptiness. This is a complete disappointment, perhaps with others, but also with self. I heard you say something about, you don't you don't feel certain that you have honored her or completely been there as you had intended. And there's obviously some kind of guilt, some kind of feeling of failure, feeling of, why can't I go? Why does she have to go? She's such an angel. Sometimes those are the things that people who are left behind can feel. Okay, so I'm talking about this in order for you to remember, remembering the emotions that you have, remembering the thoughts that you have, but also to empower you to remember that every single situation that you've mastered so far in your life, you've come out victorious. And that V stands for not being a victim to circumstances or to belief systems or to outside source, social or whatever conditions, not being victim to a kind of concept that we are structured into believing that we are impossible to change, because we can change the way that we feel about it. Okay. And so the 4th chamber is the chamber of the E. The E is the elevation out of whatever it is that has held you back, held you down, has not allowed you to release whatever it is that you're holding in. Okay. Because there is a part that says, I need to hold on to this because it's just not right. Okay. But in order to basically really completely facilitate that healing, you are the only person who can let that go. and you can be open to something in place of it, and you can see yourself as a victor rather than a victim, and you can then afterwards emerge out of that, emerge as if you were born new into a new version, into an improved and new version of who you are. That doesn't bring back what you've lost, but it will bring back what you are in the situation now to completely basically stand your ground and also be in a full harmony again with source. Okay?
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to invite you. Are you familiar with tapping at all, or are you the complete? You're familiar? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. What's your experience so far with tapping? I need to know, because otherwise we have to tap on that first.
It's good. It's positive.
Okay.
It's been a while since I've used it, so okay.
Okay. I also gave you a PDF that basically helps us to go through the stages a little bit easier. I'm going to ask you to just skip to the page where we have a, let's say, a sensory check, because I trust that you've already signed the part where it says, I have my goals here and all of those things, you know, that we don't have to go through this, save some time. Okay, but I do want to know what your expectation is of this session, because I believe this helps us to kind of center in on what it is that you feel now, and, you know, kind of allow the let's say the expectation levels also to be heard, because that's important. For me, it's important, and it's for you. I would like to, if you want to read it or just summarize it, it's up to you.
I can read my goals. Would that be helpful?
I think there's an expectations part where you say, like, those are the expectations of the sessions. The goals are not the same as the expectations.
Well, my expectations would be to heal self, to heal my timeline, to be in love, grace, and humility, to serve, to be of service to self and others, to fulfill my purpose here with quality as a whole instead of a sieve. I don't want to be a sieve in a way that I'm leaking energy. I want to be contained in my energy. So there's a fullness and a richness present. Okay.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to just invite you to go to that page, which is showing the, let's say, the part about the sensory elements, that those centers that we have in our body, and you just circle whichever part in your body is currently also in need for opening or healing, because I believe that we have, let's say, the lower three chakras in our body have the job to keep us in tune and grounded. So do you feel like you're grounded, or do you feel like you're a little bit more, you know, like not so firm in your body, not so firm in yourself as experiencing who you are, and that's important to heal?
There are times when I know I'm not in my body, and then there are times I'm in my body so much it's very painful. It's difficult to walk. Yeah. So it's a combination of the two.
Just circle around those dots that we have here. Just circle around there and pour some of the intent to help facilitate healing with this process. Just put it there.
Got it.
And I want to share my screen, but I'm using this for the very first time in this setting, so I don't know exactly whether I will be able to share my screen here. But this is what it is, a learning process for everyone. Okay, so. Okay, so I'm just showing everybody that this is the page that I asked Lonnie to circle. The purpose for this being the sensations, obviously we want to heal the heart, but we want to also reestablish a connection with all the other chakras. And if there is a chakra below the heart that is not open, the energy will not flow. So we're going to just basically make sure that we are centered and grounded. And if you like, we can just start with a little bit of a, let's say, root chakra meditation, which will be really brief, just so that you're now centered and grounded with me here, and so that there is a energy flow that basically allows the heart to open up more easily. Okay? So I'm going to just ask you to envision yourself being surrounded by a globe of light, which is like a toric field that comes from the universe. It is like a beam of white light that then surrounds you. And it circles you from head to toe. And that divine connection is inviting the spirit that's healing. And I'm inviting also those on the other side to be healed with us along the same path, because there is a line before us. We come into this experience with the memory of all of the ancestors that situate this itself in the root, and our root and our connection to the divine plan is difficult to access if we don't ground ourselves. So I'm going to ask you just to feel completely grounded, centered in your body. Feel the connection of your feet to the ground, and envision the energetic roots to go and grow into Mother Earth. Mother Earth responding in kind, coming into your direction with the healing power of the mother that you are. And the healing mother in you is now connected with all that is. And the consciousness that flows to you and through you is sending ripples across the universe to wherever those other parts are that we are entangled with, that our connections have experienced in this life and previous. And since there is no time really, this is an instantaneous connection. Our intent connects us now with your entire timeline. The one before us that we kind of remember because we were told, but also the one we don't remember anymore because it only came in an energetic form in the root of those that we have had before us. And envision a beautiful ruby light that emanates through the part of your body that is around this root chakra, and this ruby light connecting to everything there is in your body to center and heal you, to ground you, and to make you feel safe and part of this experience for a divine purpose. And as we move up into the next chakra, the one that is situated below the belly is the sacral chakra. We see the transforming light, the transformation already starting between the ruby red and the orange. And it's almost as if there is a rising sun or a setting sun that gives us that golden glow of healing light. This is where you are also experiencing those pains of motherhood, those pains that motherhood had during giving birth, and all of those months that you've carried that child in you, that honors the passing of your daughter just as much still in a cellular level. And it is there, and it is always grateful, because that was the purpose. It had its purpose, it served its purpose, and it's now contributing to the healing of the loss. The body itself is divinely constructed in such a form that it wants to heal. So now, between the chakra and your divine spirit, the intention, there is a connection that healing is part of your journey now. And in agreement, we go to the chakra that's above, the sacral chakra, which is the solar plexus. And in that solar plexus above your navel, you feel now empowered to do so. You're now empowered to feel that healing coming. It's something that you have inside of you. There's so many things you can be feeling powerless about, but there is a power in you that is bigger and stronger than anything that you could ever feel like a victim for. And that is something I ask you now to remember. This power is within you always, and it's been there since beginning of time. And all your ancestors have given you information on how to heal. And all of your energetic blueprint is there for this to be transmuted. And in order to give you an idea as to how many you are, I think 50 trillion cells in your body now have armed up and said, hey, we're going to fight this. And then you say, well, you don't really have to fight. You have to just let go. And all of the cells in your body say, oh, that's easy. And they're going to be releasing all of this tension, thinking, oh, I can't do this. They're going to just be cooperative components to this healing because they want to be part of your body and your superior self, that is the divine self that is connecting us to all there is with this power. And then we come to the green center of our heart, which is emanating a vast energetic field out around us. And this green, energetic, emerald, beautiful color green is part of our experience today. And this is where I want you to center yourself and just be in your heart. Because your mind is going to tell you something else than your heart is telling you. Your heart knows all the answers. And that's why I want you to be connected to everyone in this universe that has that divine mission to heal and to be part of a greater, let's say, path and purpose, so that all of those who are experiencing similar experiences are now also empowered and have the heart, the courage, and the determination, and the resilience, and all of those things that you have within you in order to let go and to be victorious. Okay? So we continue moving this up to your third eye. We're skipping to, I know, the throat chakra, but I believe that your throat chakra is pretty much open, and I believe that your favorite color is turquoise. True?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay, and I believe that I hear it from the way that you're talking, that your voice is active, that you're activated in your voice chakra, and we don't really need to connect, but I'm going to ask you truly to affirm, because we don't want to ignore it, affirm your truth right now. Just affirm your truth, what it is that you have come here.
My truth is I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
And to be authentic in each and every moment and to be of service.
Mm-hmm.
And my
Yep.
voice is one of the main gifts that has been bestowed upon me to speak.
There you go. Yeah, wonderful. Okay, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes and focus between the eyes on that point where the third eye is basically situated. I'm going to ask you to envision a connection between you and the universe and the great healers that have come before us, and invite them in to be part of this journey today. Their interest is also that humanity can evolve and ascend, and their intent also on a higher level, on the soul level, is that healing can be facilitated today. So I'm going to ask you to connect with that part, which also is active in you. And just ask for some guidance for you today. You can say what it is that you're receiving, but I also, don't mind if you just keep it for yourself, because you need to know what this guidance is. And just breathe. Receive the guidance now.
Mhm.
Do you want to share, or you want to keep it?
They were just simple words. It was your work begins.
Okay. All right. So let's just zoom now to the next level, because we're going to get started with some of the, let's say, the most predominant, let's say, areas where you emotionally get a really difficult chart. So we work through the layers, and the one that is most present is the one that we're going to release first. Okay.
Mhm.
So on a scale from 1 to 10, this is 1 being the lowest and 10 being the highest. What is that sensation or emotion or feeling that you have the most intense?
Right now I'm feeling woozy. So, um, the most intense emotion I could say that I have is acceptance, but it's kind of gone into indifference. And so it's not intense, but yet indifference, it can be very damaging. And so I think that's intense.
Mm-hmm,
Um, I have a concern that I am not speaking to my mother at all.
mm-hmm,
And so I don't want to go into any form of rage whatsoever.
mm-hmm,
So that's an intense emotion.
mm-hmm.
Um, I just don't want to fall in a heap and say I give up because that's not how I am or who I am. But there's times I want to just say I give up because I have all of her belongings.
Mm-hmm. Just put your hands on your heart and breathe
Mhm.
into that space, because now you're kind of blocking up. Deep breathing. And the point here on the collarbone point is the one where we start tapping gently so that you can talk about it more easily. Just here on that collarbone point. Okay, so what kind of emotion specifically linked to your mother would you like to release? You said something about rage.
Mhm. My daughter was living with her in her lower level of her house,
Mm-hmm.
and it just it was it didn't help the circumstances, my mom's actions.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Okay, so
there's
even though she was not the cause, she contributed, in your view, to the situation in whatever shape or form. Okay,
yes,
all right. So let's tap on the eyebrow point. Even though she continued to be as she is,
even though she continued to be as she is,
side of the eye, and it didn't contribute to the situation.
and it didn't contribute to the situation.
Under the eye, I accept who I am.
I accept who I am,
Under the nose, even though I can't accept her as she is.
even though I can't accept her as she is.
Chin point, I allow that to just be.
I allow that to just be.
Collarbone point, I allow her to just be.
I allow her to just be
Under the arm, because I can't change her anyway.
because I can't change her anyway,
Top of the head, and that's okay.
and that's okay.
Eyebrow point, and she's just the way she is.
She's just the way she is. Yeah.
Side of the eye, she learned to be like that because of.
She learned to be that way because of
Under the eye, her experience is probably.
her experiences, probably. Yeah.
Under the nose, most likely.
Most likely.
Chin point, which we hopefully can release as well.
Hopefully, I can release as well.
Under the collarbone point, she's part of this journey.
She's part of this journey,
Under the arm, and she's the way she is.
and she's the way she is.
Top of the head, and I don't have to accept it.
And I don't have to accept it.
Upper point, I just know that it didn't contribute.
I just know that it didn't contribute.
Side of the eye, and some part of me wants to hold a grudge.
And some part of me wants to hold a grudge.
Under the eye, but my higher self says, and then you fill in the blank.
But my higher self says it had to be for her healing.
Under the nose, and she was at that table too.
And she was at that table too.
point, and she was agreeing to do this in love.
And she was agreeing to do this in love.
Collarbone point. It doesn't feel like love sometimes.
It doesn't feel like love sometimes.
Under the arm. But that's what it is.
But that's what it is.
Okay, now I'm going to ask you to just take a deep, deep breath. And now when you think about the situation before your daughter is passing, you still have an intensity, or is there some residual emotional response?
It's washed. It's clear.
Wow. You're a good let-it-goer.
A lot of years of practice.
Wonderful. Okay, well that was difficult to go through. I saw you breathing, I saw you transforming, and you've opened your heart into that possibility that even though you can't change her, you can change the way you feel about it. And that's the healing. That's the healing right there. Okay, so just breathe into your heart and think about all those wonderful things that you now have for you, going for you, because let's say the letting go of this is going to reconnect your heart to the one of your daughter and to your mother in that aspect. Okay, just breathe into this and all of the wonderful things that can come from what you've done just now. This is the openness to a possibility, to a altered situation, to a altered way of feeling and thinking about it. Okay, and so when you're moving up, you can now, and if you lift your arms, it actually helps you to release it even more. Just lift your arms up and say, okay, well, I have victoriously let that go. I have victoriously let that go. And just come back and allow that energy to emerge, and with it, just a little bit more of your, let's say, life quality coming back to you and light quality coming back to you.
Wow.
How does that feel?
My wings are stronger. My arms are stronger. Oh.
Okay. Is that a weight that's off your shoulders, or do you feel still kind of, woozy, or is this now really, really something that you feel clear about?
Now I'm tingling. When I did the arm stretch, it went to the back of my neck, and then my spinal column did some shuddering on the way down. And now my body's tingling, which I'm imagining there is more circulation taking place, major circulation taking place.
Okay, I think that's part of what we've done now as a, let's say, opening up of the flow of your heart center towards all of the other chakras, and also to out into your field. And I'm going to ask you to just continue breathing into your heart. And I'm going to ask you now to make a quick arrangement of bringing your mom into this space right here on a soul level. Because on a soul level, she is that love and let's say this infinite wisdom. And on a soul level, what is it that she would like to communicate to you for your part of fulfilling your purpose? And I know it's part of our conversation right now. This is what I'm getting as a, let's say, impulse, that it will help you reconnect with her.
The words that come to mind is, I understand. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you.
So your higher self and your mom did a quick Ho'oponopono on you. This is wonderful. I love that. And okay, so I'm going to ask you to go back to the situation that you had in mind before we started this, and we're going to revisit because we want to really be sure we cleared it all. Okay?
Okay.
All right, so just tune into the situation again. And if there's any kind of emotional charge, you just let me know, be it a charge of your body reacting, some kind of sensation in your heart or somewhere else.
The most tender moment was when she was driving the car and she parked it. She asked me, "Mom, am I going to make it?" And I said, "Yes." And she went the next night.
Mm-hmm.
So, she had asked me that night, "What's the next step?" And I asked her, "What do you want it to be?" And she said, "Mom, I haven't always been the perfect daughter, but I've always loved you. Please forgive me. I've always loved you."
Mm-hmm.
And it was hours later that she departed.
Mm-hmm.
So,
All right, tap on your collarbone point if you can. What's the emotion behind this response? What is the quality of it?
it's sorrow, it's sadness.
Mm-hmm. And do you feel like you betrayed her because you told her something that didn't come true?
Not any longer. It's just a sorrow and a sadness.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But you have uh, kept a grudge against yourself here.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. I'm going to invite you now to put that in that letting go basket, into that room of letting go. And even though you can't, let's tap along here on the eyebrow point. Even though I can't forgive myself,
even though I can't forgive myself,
side of the eye. It happened so quickly.
it happened so quickly.
I under the eye, and I sure didn't expect it.
I sure didn't expect it.
Under the nose, and I said something I shouldn't have.
I said something I shouldn't have,
Chin point, but I did.
but I did.
Collarbone point. And now I feel, and then you fill in the blank.
Now I feel that what I said was from my understanding, but it wasn't something that could prevent her destiny.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was just from my human understanding,
Yeah.
but I couldn't change the course of her destiny.
No. We under the arm, and that's making me feel.
It's making me feel the feelings I didn't want. I didn't allow myself to feel the
Mm-hmm.
sadness and the sorrow of that precious
Mm-hmm.
moment.
Mm-hmm. Okay, top of the head, and I'm feeling this now, and it's okay.
I'm feeling this now, and it's okay.
Eyebrow point, it's okay to let it go.
It's okay to let it go.
Side of the eye, I'm prepared to forgive myself.
I'm prepared to forgive myself.
Under the eye, not just yet.
Not just yet.
Under the nose, I need this to feel a little bit more angry about myself.
I need this to feel a little bit more angry about myself.
Chin point, no, it's not true.
No, that's not true.
Collarbone point, what is true?
What
And
is
then you fill in
true?
the blank.
What is true? I'm not angry at myself.
Mm-hmm.
I just provided the answer she needed to hear in that moment.
Mm-hmm. And it's okay to let those emotions flow because you did what you could.
It's okay to let the emotions go because I did what I needed to in that moment.
Yeah, under the arm, and I did it well.
And I did it well.
Top of the head, the best I could.
The best I could.
Okay, take a deep, deep breath. I think there's a lot more that we can tap on for this emotion. There's so many aspects on this, let's say the auditory and the olfactory and the tactile qualities of this situation, because all you want in this moment, that human part of you, is to have her and hold her again. And that is the part you can't have. And now I'm going to invite you to envision, because we are living in a let's say 3D reality where everything seems as though we have a grip on everything. But I'm going to invite you to the thinking of being open to the possibility that she's right there with you and she's facilitating the healing along with you. And that she's there and she's saying something to the extent of, Mom, it's okay. I understand. And I'm going to ask you to just let go, because I don't want you grieving anymore, because I love you so much. And it was my time. Would those be words that you would expect her to say to you from that moment, from the, let's say, the motivation to allow you to heal from this?
She would say, it's okay. Don't worry about me. You've got this.
Mm-hmm.
You've got this.
Okay, just hold your hands over your head, over your heart, and just breathe into your heart now. Because you're feeling this very strongly, and I'm just asking you to send this message to your heart and to all the rest of your body, that this is what she would say, that you've got this. You've got this. How does that feel now?
There's expansion and it's soothing. It's soothing. It's a cooling heat,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense. Instead of a hot heat, it's a cooling heat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, take another deep breath into your heart and just ask again what the guidance would be. Because your inner guidance says so many things at the same time, but if you tap into it, tune into it, it can give you exactly what you need to hear.
She's saying that I'm not alone.
Mm-hmm.
And that, remember when I said, Mom, you've reached the pinnacle of your life, and are you prepared for what's coming next? And you are now prepared. So go forth, go forth, go forth.
Wow, getting chills all over. Okay. All right. Do you think this is a victorious moment?
Yes, I do. I do.
All right.
I
I
do.
invite you to lift your arms and just send this out into your field, into the universe, that this is a victorious moment. You have overcome that tremendous sensation of loss. And even though it might not be all aspects of it, it is a probably big chunk of it. Okay.
Yes. Huge.
Okay. All right. So we've let go of so many things at the moment. We're going to just send this out into the universe in a victorious sensation and emerge. Now into this, go forth into this. I'm going to ask you to project many more victorious moments. Okay, when you're ready. I'm just going to ask you to project that into your timeline before you. Okay, just close your eyes. And you travel the next few minutes, the next few hours, the next few days, the next few months, the next few years, that you continue with this journey in a more empowered and more affirmed and, let's say, conscious way that has now basically set you on that path that you have come here to serve. In that service, you will be open to, and then you fill in the blank.
Open to be fully present in the moment and fully connected to the guidance of what is. It's being a conduit, a full conduit of the gifts that are, oh wow, are now being activated at the cellular level right now. Wow. Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
Wonderful. I think you're now in resonance with that purpose that you've sensed, that you're feeling, that is going to come through a lot more now after we get off this call. It's going to be, you're going to, because you're in your heart, you're going to be either hearing, seeing, or whatever, feeling from the cosmic energy flow, that part that is to guide you for your next steps. That being open to this, meaning no longer holding on to the grief, means that you're completely in your own power. Okay, so always remind yourself that you did not lose her because she only changed form. Okay, I can say this with certainty because obviously we come without a body into a body, and then we leave the body without the body. It's the logical conclusion is that we just change form, and actually she's free where she is now.
Yes, yes.
And I think freedom is part of what we all need to learn in this planet, and to hold ourselves hostage in grief and in trauma and all of those things. It's just us doing this to ourselves. And when we open up, we're basically becoming free in our response to a reality that doesn't serve us. So anyway, we're at the end of the hour, and I think that we've come a very long way now. I believe also that you might have questions, and if we want to open up to questions from others, this is a really, really deep healing session. And I don't see any comments or something that should come in here, because I don't know. I really don't know if Facebook is really connecting. So all of this technology learning is part of what I believe is my next level up to technology wisdom. But I think our heart wisdom already took us to a level of understanding and healing of this situation, of this aspect in this moment of time. And I congratulate you, and also, let's say, honor you and thank you that you have taken this time and this tremendous power that you hold inside of you to transform, transmute, and transcend. It's been a privilege. I really loved our session today.
I did as well. Thank you. I feel very honored and very blessed, and I'm so grateful for the ripples that are going out throughout. And it's going to be an interesting ride. It certainly is an interesting ride.
Yes. I think let's say the best is yet to come, and I think these are words to end this today.
Yes,
Thank you very much, and I hope that you keep me posted on your next steps of this journey.
I will do so. Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.